the biochemical reaction, be aware of the biochemical reaction that happens. Thanks, Lynn. The biochemical reaction that happens in our body that then creates disease, right? Dis-ease, the opposite of ease. So I'm going to say hello to a couple folks and then we will get started. So hello Mark, hello Anat, hello Michelle, hello Karen, hello Atia, hello Lisa, hello Jenny, hello Mary, Karen, Susan, Carla, Diana, hello Vicky, hello Dawn, hello Susan, hello Leslie, hello Nancy, hello Siri. Oh, good morning, beauties. Hello, Susie. Oh, thank you guys. It is, yay, Diana's like, fear, bring it on. Bring on fear. And what's beautiful about fear is that, first of all, some of you guys may know, some people call it false evidence appearing real, because so often that's what fear is, right? It's this false evidence. It's something false that we're creating in our minds that that appears real to us. You know, I'm afraid of X, I'm afraid of Y, whatever that fear is, it's not actually a reality. It's something projected into the future or something from the past, but it's something that's not real. And so what's magnificent about our minds and our bodies is that we have the capability. The mind doesn't know the difference between imagined or real. And so what we're able to do, how we navigate fear is really incredible, because we can navigate fear in such a beautiful way. We can look at what the opposite of fear is. The opposite of fear is love. The opposite of whatever the fear is in our life is an opportunity. Right? So looking at and not continuing to go down the road of fear, but going down the road of inspiration and shifting our thoughts and our reality. Because really what fear is it's that false evidence appearing real. And it's also an opportunity for us to shift our perspective and to shift our minds, to shift our thoughts towards something else, to something else more productive. And this becomes a really beautiful opportunity for us to understand how to optimize our mind, how to optimize our feelings, how to optimize ourself to live into the highest potential of who we are. And so that's really the beauty of understanding fear and understanding how to navigate it, because we can very easily, although we might choose this false evidence appearing real, we could choose that. We can also choose something else. We can also choose something more inspiring. So if I use an example, I'll use an example of, when I was first looking at changing careers and doing something on my own, I was afraid, and other people even shared with me, like, what are you going to do? How will you do it? How will you make a living? And I had all these fears, like, will I be able to do it? And I was able to then shift my thoughts and focus on what I was truly looking for, the impact that I truly wanted to have. I was reaching hundreds of thousands of people in my career. I was supporting hundreds of thousands of people in my career through patients, etc. But I knew that I wanted to reach more. I knew that there was a message. I knew that there was more that I could do and more that I could contribute. And so what I started thinking about was what is the inspiration? What is the thing inside me that is inspired to share with millions? Or what is the outcome that will be the result of being able to, like, the freedom that I'll have, the ability that I'll have to do everything that I want, everything from a place of inspiration, be able to reach as many people as I'd like, to be able to work with all the people that I'd love to work with, to be able to spend all the time learning that I love to learn, to make my hobby my passion, to make my hobby my career. And so all the things that I would spend all my time doing when I got home from work, I could make this my reality. I could make this my career. So I could either go down the road of being afraid of what I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose the security. I'm going to lose whatever, all those things. I'm going to lose my team. I'm going to lose, so we can go down this road. And this is one of the fears that's so prevalent, is this fear of losing something, right? And I want to share with you what the gain is, or how to shift that. So you go from the thought of what you're going to lose And this, I trained with a really incredible trainer who's very influential in the training space, in the personal inspiration space and motivation space, Brendan Bouchard. And so he talks a lot about this. And I thought that this would be a really awesome time to bring this concept to us all, because he talks a lot about fear, and we've had fear that has come up. It's the perfect opportunity, because as we're talking about how to live into our highest potential, how to be the healthiest, most fulfilled version of ourselves. Thank you guys. Thank you. As we are stepping into what that highest potential is, so many of us have these fears that are creeping in, right? These fears that creep in that cause us to pause. They cause us to pause, and we may not evolve, or we may not change. And so what is it that gets in the way of that change? And many times it's fear. So I wanted to navigate fear for a little bit. So let me just, I'm going to read a couple of your comments, and then we'll continue with our topic, but I want to make sure I address some of what you guys are working on. And if you have some fears, any fears that come up, whether it's a fear of loss, or a fear of something being too hard, or a fear of what happens on the other side of making this change, what happens as I live into my highest potential, will I lose my friends, will I lose my family, whatever these fears are, if you feel comfortable posting those, then I'm happy to respond, and we can engage about these things that are coming up. So I'll read a couple of your comments, and then we'll continue with this topic. So Mark says she's been facing some fears lately, working through them. Absolutely. And I've seen some of your posts, Mark, and you are doing such a beautiful job navigating these thoughts and perceptions and getting on the other side of those. So kudos to you. That's really incredible. Oh, hello. Susan says, yes, false evidence appearing real. Oh, good. Yes, false fear. Sometimes people can either say false evidence appearing real or false expectations appearing real. So either one of those is a really great way for us to think about what fear actually is. And Michelle says miracles happen just on the other side of fear. Absolutely. So Mark says, sometimes I feel afraid of change. Absolutely. And looking at what is it about the change that we're afraid of, because there's typically a couple different things that we're afraid of. One is the fear of loss. Another one is a fear of how the process, right? What the process will be, how the process is. Is it too hard? When I was leaving my career and starting my own company, it was like, can I actually do this? Will I be able to do this? Because it's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to start my own company. Will I have the support? Will I have the following? All of those things, all of those fears came in. This was several years ago, but all of those fears come in. And then on the other side of that is like, will it be worth it? Will it even be worth it on the other side? Will the grass be greener than where I am? And so we have that frequently, right? Like wanting things to be a certain way and having an expectation of them being a certain way. And so the really great, Leslie says, I'm afraid I'm missing my life mission. It makes me fill up with dread. Absolutely. So one of the things before we continue with this concept of fear is understanding, Leslie, you said, I'm afraid of missing my life mission. It makes me fill up with dread. So pay attention to what that feels like when you have that thought of, I'm not fulfilling my life mission. What does that, and I can feel it. I feel it flooding through my neck. I feel this stress flooding through me. And you're actually stressing your body. And this is one of the things that's so important for us to recognize, because the importance of us shifting and optimizing our mind and optimizing our thought patterns and optimizing ourselves, like shifting from fear to inspiration, fear to something more positive, not only because of the outcome, what's going to happen, what we're going to be able to attract on the other side of that, what we're going to be able to achieve, but also because of what it does to our body. So we talked today, we talked this week, I know I shared a post which was like, what needs healing? So this post was earlier, probably last week, what in me needs healing? And many people shared different things. Paying attention to why those pains or resistance or tensions show up, many times it's a physical manifestation of an emotional response, right? An emotional response or a thought pattern. And so starting to recognize the trends in our bodies, starting to recognize the trends that are happening as a result of our thoughts, as a result of our feelings. So knowing, for example, I'll use you, Leslie. Thank you for posting. So instead of having this fear that I'm not fulfilling my life mission, shifting that thought to something more inspirational. In what ways could I fulfill my life mission right now? Or even thinking about, for example, Leslie sent me this beautiful watercolor, beautiful watercolor of this woman holding like the world. And it was so like a crystal ball world. It's beautiful. And the level of inspiration that then gave me in my life, and how that shifted my experience and the joy that brought me. So Leslie, if you shifted your focus to I'm missing my life mission to I am living my life mission every moment of every single day, what does that feel like to know that I made a difference in somebody's life, right? If I shift my thought to say, how might I do that again? What is it? How might I live my life mission today? What do I need to do? What do I need to say? Where do I need to be? And so then from a place of inspiration, you're filling your body with these beautiful like oxytocin and beautiful hormones and chemicals that then lead to health, right? And so this concept is multidimensional because I want to talk about, living into our full potential, not only from a fulfillment standpoint, but also from a health standpoint, because I know how, thank you guys, I know how important it is when we are thinking and feeling in beautiful, healthy ways, what happens to our body as a result, what happens to our health as a result, what happens to our ability to shift from pain and disease to health. And I know there's lots of concern, lots of opportunity to enhance our health. And that's why I bring these concepts up and also link them to our health. And then also fulfillment and success in life, right? And I view success in life through the lens of fulfillment and in a variety of different dimensions. So thank you, Leslie. Patricia says she feels the same as Leslie and she fears not recognizing it. Awesome. Yay. And Nat says fear sometimes paralyzes me. So this is exactly what happens to so many people, and that is that fear is the reason why we don't shift or we don't change. And so how we get beyond that, for example, if you guys post whatever the fears are, this is awesome. I'm reading some of your comments, and Karen has a great one. She navigated a fear this weekend and she shifted into a thought of how would I be if I'm magnificent? And then she just let the fear go. That's exactly right. So if we shift from the fear, for example, of loss, right? A really easy, and that's something that's so prevalent. We fear what we're going to lose, and so we don't continue. I'm going to lose a friend. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose a relationship. I'm going to lose something, right? I'm going to lose finances. I'm going to lose support. And so our minds will go into this. And then once you have the thought, you repeat the thought, and then you've memorized the thought. So you can pull that thought back so easy. And so what we're going to do is shift that pattern to a new pattern. And so instead of it being, what am I going to lose? It's, what am I going to gain? What will I gain as a result of? What am I going to gain as a result of living my life mission? How many people am I going to impact? How many people will I inspire? Whatever that concept is, where you're thinking about what you're going to lose, you now shift it to what you're going to gain. So for me, in making some of the decisions that I made, I needed to shift my thinking to what am I, like the freedom that I would have on the other side, who I was going to inspire, the amount of people I would be able to inspire, the amount of evolution that I would be able to allow myself, because I'd be able to spend every waking moment on my life's mission, that there would be nothing standing in the way of me fulfilling my life's dream and my life's mission, because now I could spend all my time doing this. All the time that was like my hobby time before would actually be my job. This would be my job. And so I shifted from what I was going to lose to what I was going to gain. And so that's a really powerful shift, and feel what it feels like to feel the gain that thought of what I'm going to gain in your body, in every single cell of your body. What does that feel like? I'm to know what it feels like to live my life's mission, to know what it feels like to live into my highest potential, to know what it feels like to be in a constant state of evolution, and to honor myself and have the ability to continue that process in every moment of every day. And so this is one way that we can shift our thought process from when you're thinking of what I'm going to lose, or what if this outcome that's not good happens, or like these are the fears that are not real, but our mind will we can take ourselves into that process and then repeat them and repeat them and repeat them, causing a stress response in our body, that we shift it to what am I going to gain? What is it that I'm going to gain? What will others gain? And so, Mary says, fear of a huge move, fear of sharing big faith-driven movements. Awesome. Naomi, Vicky, I have a fear of not being whole again. I do not understand how to get to the other side of healing. Absolutely. That's a really powerful and bold question. So the fear of not being whole, and what if you are whole? So what if it's, instead of going down the road of what if I'm not, what if I am? Who am I when I am whole? How do I feel when I am whole? How do I feel when I am healed? Because this is what creates the health in our bodies, is shifting the what if I'm not to what if I am? What if you are whole? What if you are healthy? What if that thought of not being healthy wasn't even a potential in your mind? So it's going to that place of inspiration, that place of wholeness, that place of love, instead of the place of lack, right? So for Vicky, for you, it's what does health feel like? What does wholeness feel like? And feel it. Feel it. On the other side of that fear, on the other side of that is health. And so allowing that to be who you are, and spending the time and the mental rehearsal and your imagination feeling what it feels like to feel healed, feeling what it feels like to feel whole, feeling what it feels like to feel magnificent, to feel healthy. And that's where we spend our time, because now we're reprogramming ourselves, like recognize and have grace with ourselves that our mind and our bodies are used for, like, they're powerful, beautiful tools. We're magnificent by design, right? Our minds are magnificent, our bodies are magnificent, and we are built for survival and for evolution. And so recognize that we are built a certain way, and once we understand how we're built, once we understand how our mind works, once we understand how our body works, then we can optimize our mind, we can optimize our body. And so today is really about optimizing our minds to shift away from fear towards inspiration, towards love, towards evolution, right? If we're afraid of the process, I was afraid that the process of my starting a new company, going off on my own, was going to be really hard and really challenging. And then I shifted it to the evolution and what that would mean for my own personal growth, right? And the personal growth that I've achieved in the last 3.5 years, who I've become in the 3.5 years since going off on my own. And it's been a beautiful transformation and a beautiful opportunity for me to grow and to evolve. And as fear comes up, looking at it in the face and saying, oh, that's not real. What's real is the other side of that. What's real is the opportunity, and not taking on the fear as being real, not taking on that reality, but allowing myself to look at what might be on the other side. Thank you, guys. What might be on the other side of that? Who can I be? What's the highest potential of who I can be? If I were magnificent, who would I be? What would that feel like? How would I act? How would I talk? How would I walk? Right? This is what we've been talking about in our previous lives on the mental rehearsal. Rehearse with every part of who you are, being magnificent, being courageous, being whole, being healthy. And know that when fear creeps up, because we haven't talked about fear yet, when fear creeps up, you can look at it and choose something else and choose inspiration and say, instead of what I'm going to lose, what will I gain? Instead of loss, what will I gain? So anytime your mind goes to losing something, you shift it to what's the gain? What will I win? What will I gain? What will I learn? How will I evolve? Right? And the more you move into that, the more you move beyond your fear, the more magnificent you prove yourself to be. You will fall more in love with yourself every single moment of every single day, because you'll be like, I did it. I did it. And you will prove yourself right. You will prove yourself right that you are magnificent. You will prove yourself right that you are whole. You will prove yourself right that you are healthy. You will prove yourself right that you are courageous. You will prove yourself right that you are living your life's mission. And you will fall more in love with yourself today and in every moment than you have ever been. And you will continue then to evolve and continue then to make those changes. And so in this way, you get out of being paralyzed from taking your next step, because you will prove to yourself that you can do it. You will prove to yourself that that fear, that's false. That fear, that's not real. And what's real is who you really are. What's real is your wholeness. What's real is your magnificence. What's real is your courage. That's what's real. And you will prove that to yourself every day and every moment. So I'm just looking at some of your comments. Oh, Leslie says, yes, total stress trigger in my neck, back, and adrenaline. Absolutely. So some of you guys are feeling what this stress feels like when you have fear, what the stress feels like. And the way to get beyond that, the way is to shift that thinking from the loss, from the hardship, from the what ifs to what is there to gain, to the inspiration. And so this is really the tool. This is really the tool for how we create greater health in our body, how we create greater fulfillment for our lives, and how we are in a constant state of evolution and inspiration to living into the highest potential of who we are. So I'm going to check a couple more comments, and then I am going to let you guys go so that we can live into the highest potential and highest expression of who we are and overcome our fears, optimize our thinking and our feeling to our highest potential by shifting from loss to gain, from shifting from hardship of process to evolution, and knowing that it's all part of an evolution. Mary says, also fear of letting friends go that are not aligned with your growth. Absolutely, I totally understand that. So many times there is that fear, right, of as we evolve, that there will be people, and I know many of you guys have commented on this, that, what about the people that may be left behind? And the reality is, when we shift and when we evolve, what I found in my life, I'll share with you my particular example, is that people did fall away. And what was introduced into my life were more beautiful people to be able to support and challenge me along the way. And then it wasn't that all these people got lost. Sometimes it was just a period of time where we didn't resonate together anymore. And I love this term, resonance, because everything is energy, right? And sometimes we resonate with people and sometimes we don't. And sometimes we'll just take a break, and it's like we engage with someone. Maybe you guys have felt this before, but you meet someone, it's like, pff, like firecrackers, fireworks, like you're so excited, you resonate so well with these people. And then other times it's like, what happened? Wah, wah, wah. Like we don't resonate at all. And so it's knowing that as things shift from our lives, so maybe some things get let go, right? And what's on the other side of that? So Mary, for you, is like if there are friendships that fall away, what friendships will you gain, right? What friendships will you gain? What people will you be able to welcome into your life? Because now you'll have the time, and now you'll have the ability, and now you'll be resonating at a particular frequency that allows you to meet other inspiring people just like yourself. And Mary specifically, I met her in a coffee shop just a couple days ago. She's super sweet and super bold, and you guys, I'm sure, will see her along the way. And she went and did her own live, and she was like, where are my bold women? Where are my brave women? Where are you? Where are my girls at? And so Mary, you'll be welcoming in more and more people that it's instead of focusing on the fear of loss, it's the what you will gain. And so shifting from like, oh my gosh, who are the people I'm going to be welcoming into my life? Who are the inspiring people? Who could they be? And thinking about that, being so excited about that. This is what I did, and I might have shared it in a previous live where I might have shared it, I think, a long time ago. You know, at a certain point, I was myself looking for and wanting more inspiring people in my life. So I put like pictures up of lots of inspiring people. So I had Oprah, I had Brendon Bouchard, I had Dr. Joe Dispenza. I had all these people in frames, like, so that I could, and I would read all their books. I would talk to them like they were my friends. And then I had an opportunity to welcome them into my life, welcome some of them into my life, which was really, really cool. And so it blew my mind, and I was so excited because some of these people did become friends or mentors, and then other people came along, and it was really exciting when I shifted my focus from what I would lose to what I would gain, and then was able to welcome those. It was like my life became magnificent. I was so super excited when opportunities came where I could train with someone or speak with someone that was someone I admired, that I had put my energy into saying, you know what, this is what I want. I want inspiring people like this in my life. And then that's what came into my life. But I needed to shift from the fear of loss to the gain and the inspiration and what I could welcome into my life. So hopefully that helps Mary. And that's a common fear for so many of us, of losing something, losing friends, losing family. And so shifting instead from the loss to the gain is a constant theme. So hopefully that helps. Thank you. So Vicky says thought patterns are stubborn at times. They can be, especially because we haven't been conscious about creating our thoughts for so long, right? And I've shared this also in another live. We think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of them are the same thoughts we thought the day before and the day before and the day before that. So we are projecting our past into our future. So if we want to change our future reality, if we want to change our thoughts, we have to be conscious about the thoughts that we're thinking. And so doing this one thing, I'd have us, like, this would be my exercise that I would have us think about in addition to the mental rehearsals. And for those of you guys who haven't heard about the mental rehearsal, my previous live last week, I talked about mental rehearsal of mentally rehearsing being in your highest potential. And we talked about this a lot, but being the highest version of yourself and rehearsing in your body, rehearsing in meditation, rehearsing in silence, whatever the case may be, but imagining yourself as the highest potential of who you are, right? So imagine yourself as the highest potential of who you are, and then understand what is the one thing that gets in the way of you achieving that. The one fear, the one thing that is getting in the way, and you just have to think about one. You don't have to think about a lot. You can think about as many as you want, but just think about one. And what is the one thing? And then how do you shift that thought, right? Maybe it's I'm not good enough, or maybe it's a fear of loss, or maybe it's a fear of this is going to be too hard, whatever the case may be. Then shift the thought from your fear of loss, from your fear of pain, from your fear of lack, from whatever that fear is, to the inspirational thought. The inspirational thought of what would it be like for me to be that magnificent? What would it be like what could I welcome in? What will I gain? So shifting just that one thought from loss to gain, that's it. That's the one exercise. Shift from loss to gain, and then you will see a massive transformation in your evolution, a massive transformation in achieving the highest potential of who you are, and also a massive transformation in your health, because that one fear that's keeping you in the way is also creating those negative biochemical reactions in your body that are causing stress, that's causing pain, that's causing disease. And so shifting our thought patterns and shifting the chemical reaction in our body is going to lead to greater health, is going to lead to greater fulfillment, is going to lead to living into your highest potential. So awesome. I'm going to look at a couple more comments, and then and then we will go. So Teresa says, I get interested in so many different things that I can't seem to be connected. I don't know if I can figure out my life mission. That's my fear. So Teresa, I would focus on what would it feel like? What would it feel like to know your life's mission? What would it feel like to know that you're living it in every moment? Because you are. And it's not this big thing necessarily. It's that you are living your life's mission right now in this moment. And in this moment, there is a lesson. In this moment, there is a learning. In this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. So in this moment, what would it feel like to feel that you were totally living your life's mission? And this is a really great concept that when I first started making big shifts in my life, it's because in my mental rehearsals, I knew what it felt like to be in joy. I knew what it felt like to feel totally in love. I knew what it felt like with who I am, with what I was doing, with my work, with my career. I knew what that felt like. I wasn't living it yet. It wasn't my external reality, but I knew what it felt like. So I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what my next career would be, and I didn't know what my next step would be, but I knew what it felt like. And then every experience that came into my awareness, every job opportunity that came into my lap, I felt it, and I was like, is this it? No, that's not it. Is this it? No, that's not it. Because it doesn't feel like what I know my life's mission feels like. And then when I got it, when different people were introduced to my life and it felt right, it felt like this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like to be inspired. This is what it feels like to live my life's mission. This is what it feels like to live in the fullest expression of who I am. Then I started checking the boxes, right? But I knew when things didn't fit. I knew when it wasn't it. And so I was like, no, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. And people would ask, how do you know? Because I know what it feels like. Because my body knows what it feels like because I've practiced it. I know what magnificent feels like. I know what love feels like. I know what joy feels like. I know what inspired feels like. All of us know what these things feel like, right? So when you know what it feels like and you know that that's what you want, that's the object of your desire. The object of my desire is to feel like that. And so I will allow all the opportunities into my life that fit that feeling. And know that when they don't, that it's not it. It's not it. And so that is a really great question, Teresa. Hopefully that helps. And if you have more questions, please post. I'm happy to. Marge says, great question. What will I gain as a result? Not what I'm going to lose. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, Karen says the shift feels amazing. Awesome. Vicky says, oh, Vicky has tears of joy. And that while feeling my health and strength. Oh, Ruth says, I was never allowed to feel or want as a child, and thank you, and struggled with that my whole life. Therefore, I'm afraid and don't know myself. I fear knowing who I really am and what my life mission should be. I can't see your entire comment right now, Ruth, but I will come back to it. What if I'm successful? So Michelle says, what do you do with the fear of success? The what if I am successful is what you're afraid of because it is so foreign. That is a great, great question, Michelle. So I think it really comes down to feel into what success feels like for you and understand. It's a really great question, and I'd love for you to navigate it, and I will come back to this because it's important, and this is different for each person. So I'll let you think on this, and then we'll address this in the next live or in a private chat. But so how do you deal with the fear of success? It's understanding what that fear is, understanding, what are you afraid of in being successful? Are you afraid of being successful? Are you afraid of, have you seen successful people and what that does to them? What if you don't know what that feels like? So it's really understanding what is the fear behind the fear of success, and then we'll navigate it. So spend a little bit of time understanding, and you can post it in this video. Spend a little bit, and I'll respond to it. Spend a little bit of time understanding or going deep into what truly is underneath the fear of success, and then we'll navigate it a bit further. So hopefully that helps. And if other people have the same fear, I'm happy to support, and we can navigate this. We can look at this because we want ourselves to be our fullest potential, our healthiest and most fulfilled potential. And so if other people have this also common fear, I'm happy to navigate this with all of us. So that was our lesson today, was really about navigating, moving into our highest potential, understanding how fear keeps us from change and evolution, and how we shift from a place of fear to a place of inspiration, a place of loss to a place of gain. And so just making those small little shifts will make a big difference, and recognizing that so often these thought patterns, the ones of fear, repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat the 60 to 70,000 times a day. And if we consciously shift our thoughts, we can go into the place of inspiration. We can then get to greater evolution. We can then get to change. We can then get to living into our highest potential and supporting health and change within our own bodies, health and fulfillment. So thank you guys for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them here. I will engage with you on this video, and then we will be live next week on Monday, and looking forward to seeing you guys again. Please feel free to add any questions, and I will engage with you here. Love you, love you. See you next week.